Well, for more on the pandemic outlook in Ekiti State, Dr. Jim Lass-Ogunshaki, Senior Special Assistant, Public Health and Lead Compliance Officer for COVID-19 Task Force in Ekiti State, joins us virtually from the state capital. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you. Good afternoon, good evening. Yeah.
All right, good evening. Ekiti State has been very big on sensitizing people about COVID-19 protocols in the state. But how much are residents listening and adhering to the safety measures?
Thank you. On the 10th of August, Mr. Governor, His Excellency gave another directive, like a restriction order on social gatherings, religious gatherings and other gatherings in the state because of the third wave and because of the numbers that we were having in the state, because our positivity rate had increased. So these have made us to go back to the street, and we started enforcement again. This time around, of course, institutional enforcement, especially business areas, and of course a lot of places where people gather, religious gatherings, social gatherings, and all of that, where people had already thrown away the protocols, but we had started resensitizing, and of course, we've been engaged with the communities, especially the traditional institution and the religious leaders. We've had several meetings across the local government. And of course, we've also taken some drastic enforcement actions on some businesses in the state, and for them to know that government is very serious about the compliance of the restriction and the rules.
But for large gatherings, including political gatherings, they tell a whole different story, especially these days. What is the task force approach to such crowds? And this is also looking at the future.
Yeah, so because there is no complete lockdown at the moment for the gatherings, so what we do is that we ensure that strict COVID protocols are being followed. By that, I mean, ensuring hand hygiene. So we position vertical buckets and other hand washing equipment and make sure that everybody wash their hands. And we enforce the use of nose mask. And of course, the social distancing. We had shut down a few gatherings that are not compliant. We even went ahead to institute a kind of a permit for parties and all of that. So we make sure that since we are not having a lockdown and all of that and its restrictions, so we make sure that people comply, and we walk into events and gatherings to make sure that people comply. Yeah.
Let's talk about the vaccines as ongoing. How are people reacting to it? Are there people who are opposed to the vaccine? And if so, what are the plans to reaching out to a lot more people to take the vaccines?
Okay, yeah, about the vaccines, in the beginning, when the vaccines newly came, we had quite a lot of misinformation and all of that. But that had really come down now. Even when we completed the first phase of the AstraZeneca vaccine that was brought then, quite a lot of people were still coming that they wanted to have their vaccines. So, but recently we received Moderna and another batch of AstraZeneca vaccines. Our vaccine uptake in Ekiti has been encouraging even from the first dose, because we did quite a lot of community engagement because of the narrative of our environment, because of the respect that people have for the traditional institution and the religious institution. We always engage them to make sure that the message goes around across the nooks and crannies of all the communities in Ekiti State. So as we speak, we have had, in the initial time, we had AstraZeneca. We had like about 70,000 doses. So we had like about 30,000 uptake in the first round, and we had another 20,000 uptake in the second round. So for people that couldn't have their second dose, this new AstraZeneca that we've just been giving is about 24,520 doses. And we have encouraged people that have not taken their second dose of AstraZeneca to come take their AstraZeneca second dose. And also people that are also willing, because people that are also willing to take their first dose We've been giving them Moderna. Moderna gave us 47,404 doses. And up until yesterday, because the seat rate will be going on even as I speak, we have utilized about 30,508 out of the 47,404. And the Moderna vaccine is actually like 28 days interval. So we're hopeful that we're able to utilize it before September 16th or so when it goes out. But for the second phase of AstraZeneca, out of the 4,520 that they gave us, we have actually used about over 5,000, almost 6,000, and we're still making progress.
All right, we'd like to thank you for that update and wish the state the best in the fight against COVID-19. Thank you so much. We've been speaking to Dr. Jim Lasagushake, Senior Special Assistant, Public Health, also Lead Compliance Officer for COVID-19 Task Force in Ekiti State. Thanks again.
Thank you.